Yes, everybody. Welcome back in the building. Happy Monday, you guys. I hope you all had a good start to your week, despite all the drama around Liverpool Football Club in the last 24 to 48 hours. This is gonna be up there with one of the most interesting press conferences I think we'll have ever seen from Liverpool Football Club. I know Slot will definitely have answers prepared, because obviously all the questions will probably be around Mohamed Salah or like 90%. And it's just going to be interesting to look at his body language, how he feels about the whole situation. Obviously, we know that Salah hasn't traveled to Italy, so he's not going to be part of the squad that's traveling for the Inter Milan game. But beyond that, I'm more so interested to hear what's the future, just different questions that they'll ask about Salah, because they obviously will ask him about that, and same with the player. Apparently, the player that's going to be speaking to the media is going to be Alisson Becker, you guys. Alisson Becker, our goalkeeper. So even him, I'm curious to hear. They'll ask him, what did you think of what Salah said? Just curious to see what he thinks, what Slot thinks. But I do think from Slot, at least, it's probably going to be an answer that he's already prepared, because this is such a monumental moment because of what Mohamed Salah represents, that he needs to be prepared. He needs to be prepared for it. You know what I mean? But how's everybody doing in the building? How's everybody doing in the building? Patty, nice to see you. What position in the league, bro? I can't. I only think about the next, bro. We're in crisis mode. We only think about the next game right now. We can't be thinking about we can't be thinking about the end of the season, bro. Right now it's survival mode. What are you talking about? Yo, Glock, nice to see you. Hope you've been doing well. I've been doing okay. How have you been? I gotta be honest, these last 24 hours, Liverpool Football Club has really taken over my life. Usually I don't let it, but there's just been so much ongoing that it's hard to not think about our situation and how we move from here and how things can look better and all these things. It's difficult, I think, to be positive in this moment in time, but in the end there's going to be a solution for everything. And you know what does make me feel positive, to be honest, is the fact that I look at the quality players that we have, young players for the future, and I, whether it be with Slot or another manager, we have way too much quality to not be a dangerous team for years to come because of our quality. You know what I mean? That one friend, thank you very much for the super chat. Um, who says what channel is it on? You can look up on the Liverpool FC YouTube channel. So, like I said, Alisson Becker will be speaking, and Arne Slot. The two will be speaking to the media. Yo, hello, it's me. Nice to see you in the building. What's good? No Salah and Chiesa. Yeah, so Chiesa is not there because of a fitness issue. Cody Gakpo is not going to be available tomorrow because of a fitness issue. And last but not least, Wataru Endo also did not travel because of a fitness issue. Those three. Barry, nice to see you. Says it's been a while. Sorry I couldn't come to Watchalong, so I'm worried about the situation. I hope everything becomes normal and Salah stays and plays. Me too, bro. We Siraj says we need to get rid of Slot and get someone that has nice hair like you, Leo. Oh my god, bro. Is the hair game actually important? Look at Pep Guardiola. He's the best manager in the last decade. Does he have a lot of hair? I don't think it's very much related to hair, is it? Sully, nice to see you in the building. How are you? How did you become a Liverpool supporter? Deepest, darkest jungle. I became I became a Liverpool fan because I grew up in Iceland, and in Iceland the Premier League is like, you wouldn't believe the passion for the Premier League. It's just unbelievable, and so everybody had a team around me, and it took me a while to actually pick a team. But at one point, I had a friend who showed me tapes of Stevie G, and I saw Stevie G celebrating, and I just felt something special. I felt a special connection, and I wanted to learn more. And then I started to research about the football club. I started to try to learn more about the football club, and everything just felt right in terms of how I feel as me my personality and everything else, what You'll Never Walk Alone represents, what this football club represents, and I just fell in love. And from that time, I I I just supported the team, and that's only grown over time. When I was 12 years old, I think I started a Liverpool fan page on Instagram, and I've been doing that now for 12 or 13 years, every single day. For 12 or 13 years, I've been running that. You know. That one friend says, "Thank you again for the super chat." Says starting time. It starts. It should be starting now. It was supposed to start at 6:45 p.m. UK time. Klopp Norbert LFC. I love the super chat. Thank you very much. Who said Moses self-said? Okay. Always speaks when it's in his interest. Arne will turn this around. Here we go. It's about to start. Here we go. I'm turning up the volume, guys. Slot with a big smile. Here we go. They're asking about Salah right away. Here we go. He asked a lot of questions. No, Deliora, they're missing due to injuries, fitness issues. It's not dropped, Deliora. They let him know he's not traveling. That was the only communication. See, he says they spoke a lot on Saturday. Even though even though Salah said the relationship broke down, he doesn't think his relationship's broken down with Salah. Slot doesn't feel that. He hasn't felt that at all. What? See, he says he's very surprised by his comments after the game. Because they spoke on Saturday. He said his reaction is clear because he's not brought him for selection. I can't hear the question that the reporter's asking. Short reaction. Oof. There's He doesn't know if Salah's played his last game for Liverpool or not. Damn. It's of course this press conference was going to be all about Salah. That one friend, thank you very much for the super chat as well, who says, Harry in the house here. Yo, Leo, if you were to sell one player, who would it be? Are you streaming the game tomorrow? Sell a player? I think right now, more than anything, we need to bring in players, that one friend, in key positions. But sell a player, I would probably say Endo deserves better than the amount of playing time he gets. And that's me saying that out of love, that one friend. Slot doesn't seem to trust him. We don't have a proper defensive mid. He's good enough to start for so many clubs that I would say Endo for his sake, because I love Endo so much. And then we need to bring in a defensive mid that Slot trusts. But I would probably say Endo because, like I said, he deserves it. He deserves to be starting week in, week out. He's too good to be getting 10 minutes here and there off the bench. You know? All the questions are only about Salah. God. He has another conversation. He says he's not weak. Slaw looks pissed, but rightfully so. Everything is just becoming about Salah, and Salah knew that. It only becomes about Salah. It's so sad. They are speaking. See, so they're speaking. Bro, go 12. The whole press conference we already knew was only going to be about Salah. We already knew that. Salah made it all about him. That's what's sad. See, they're saying the entire 10 minutes were just on Salah. Finish questions on Mo, bro. He literally said we're done with questions on Mo. Oh, they're asking about Chiesa. Chiesa is ill. That's why he's not in the squad, guys. Chiesa is ill. So Chiesa is ill. And Gakpo picked up an injury against Leeds. That's why Gakpo and Chiesa aren't available. They're asking what kind of illness Chiesa has, bro. What the hell? Oh my god, I don't want to be. I wouldn't want to be a manager. Oh my god, I wouldn't want to be a manager. Chiesa would have loved to travel back to Italy, absolutely. Cody Gakpo will be out for a few weeks. These questions, bro. What? Being manager? Bro, nobody has any sympathy for managers ever. But you realize facing questions, it's not easy. I'm just saying. And you have to do it every 2-3 days. Every 2 to 3 days. Do you think we'll play a 4-4-2? I think we might still play at a front three with Ekitike on the left wing, Isak down the middle, and Soboslai on the right wing. No live about the FA Cup? Which FA Cup? Is there an FA Cup draw? Yeah, Salah smiled in training, but bro, that's... He knew there would be a lot of cameras. Yeah, Loopy Lewis, sure, but the amount of abuse managers get, for me, it's not about money. The abuse people get is just wild. And because they're managers and because they earn a lot of money, it's like okay to abuse. For me, it's wild. And abuse with managers and players is on the rise. Oh, we got Barnsley at home. I mean, to be fair, that's less big than this whole Salah thing. You know what I mean? It's not as big at all. And then with Slot, it's the same thing that I've said since day one. Since day one. And so many of you guys give me hate for it. So many of you guys. But you don't understand the amount of content creators I see out there who say, Slot out, get him out, get this out. And they don't have a solution. They don't have a solution. Or their solution they think is just gonna magically work. It's just crazy to me. If someone like Xabi Alonso was available, I would think differently. But given the current situation, you don't understand how much easier it is to just say Slot out without any solutions. You don't understand. I'm one of the few standing Liverpool content creators who hasn't absolutely cursed out the manager and said Slot out. Why? Because for me, I have to have a detailed plan, an idea on what the replacement would be. And that does not mean that I'm satisfied with what Slot and the team is doing right now. There can be a little bit of nuance. But in this world, it seems like there isn't any nuance. It's either sack everybody, sack the manager, sack this, or you're against the team. There's nothing in between. You know, unfortunately, that's just the world we're in. All the big Liverpool fan channels? Who are the big Liverpool fan channels? Oh, Alisson is up, guys. Alisson is up. I'm not going to watch United versus Wolves. What? For those of you saying there's a lag, just refresh. Refresh the page, okay? I can... Yeah, refresh the page. So Vision Ape says that's not our problem to find a replacement. I understand it's not a problem, Vision Ape, but the people in charge, if they haven't sacked Slot, you have to understand that that means there isn't somebody better that they have lined up as a replacement. So me personally in my life, I'm not going to complain all day and be negative when I know there isn't a solution there that's better. Because otherwise, trust me, our hierarchy would have gone for it. Do you get what I'm saying? When you're saying it's up to the back room to figure it out, they haven't gone for someone else, which tells me there isn't a better solution. You understand? And I'm someone that doesn't want to go about every single day just being negative. That's how I was brought up to live my life. Because life is precious. And I'm sick and tired of negativity. High speed, I really don't think Stevie G is a good idea, but I've already made a video on that. You can't ignore the obvious, but Gov, if you look at my match reactions, you think I'm satisfied with what's going on there? I'm absolutely not satisfied. And I think tomorrow, for example, will be very difficult. But for me, you cannot be negative for the sake of being negative. You know what I mean? Unless you have a plan and you have real ideas, which I never see people have when they're just solely being negative. Because trust me, I have like 4 close friends who are growing more and more frustrated with Slot, with treatment of players, different things. And I asked them, okay, what do you want to do then? And there's not one, when I had an in-depth conversation, not one that was like, oh, okay, this would be a good idea. And then it stops there. But online, when you're just watching a video, looking at comments, whatever it may be, it's so easy to just comment, slot out. Be negative everywhere you could be. But that's not how life works. Life doesn't work that way. In my opinion. I wouldn't want to keep living if I'm just being negative all the time. Without a plan. Abby, I'm watching the press conference with Alisson right now. Oh yeah, Yamoy. Absolutely questioning the manager. I did that the last 3 post-match reactions. But it's very different to me to saying Slot out. Very different. Oops. Guys, let me know if the lag is better now. I just switched cameras. What do you mean a bit shorter? Go 12. What do you mean? Better no lag. Okay, good. Good, good. We're going to talk about it all after, guys. The press conference is just ending with the Alisson part. Hello, Alinas. How are you? How's it going? How's it going? I'm watching the last part of the Alisson Becker press conference. The last part. He's talking about Inter Milan right now. How they've barely had time as a team to regroup because they've just had to rest and then get ready for the huge game in the Champions League. Yeah, criticism is part. See, Alisson says he has 3 kids, so he doesn't have much time to follow what the media is saying. Inter is going to be very tough. Do you know when the press conference? Bro, it's almost finished. Alisson is having his bit right now. UEFA will talk about that just as soon as Alisson has stopped speaking. Let's see. He said, Ryan, because I'm listening to the Alisson press conference. What's up, Tim? Nice to see you. I'm just looking at the end of this presser. Nixie 404. Have a look at the video I posted yesterday, where we don't have to take sides. My only side is Liverpool Football Club. That's all I care about, and what's best for Liverpool Football Club. That's it. They have the desire to change the situation they're in. Ali has just said exactly. Oh God, yes, another Salah question. Tanzizo, I'll say what I think is best for Liverpool Football Club after the Alisson press conference. And I want to hear your thoughts too. Anfield says, gotta love Alisson's calm demeanor. He just makes me feel a lot more calm about the situation. Same. I love him. We face Barnsley. I know, there's just bigger things going on than the FA Cup right now, bro. Ali is a man of God. He's so good and warm, calm, and super pro. Absolutely. That's another injury. No Gakpo for Inter. Ali knows no Gakpo for quite a few games. He's out for a few weeks. That's a long time. Big up Wifa, thank you, who's been a channel legend member for 4 months, as I really hope Mo gets a proper send-off against Brighton. Such a shame it had to end like this for Salah. This is identical to the Ten Hag versus Ronaldo situation. There we are, guys. There we are, guys. The press conference is done. Let me know what you guys thought of the press conference. Somebody was asking me, which side are you on? And I said it before, for me, I'm on Liverpool Football Club side. And with the Salah situation, for me, there's one of two solutions, the way I see it at least. And I want you to tell me what you think. But damn, I feel so much more calm after the Alisson spoke. I feel so much more calm. And then we could talk about the press conference. But I saw quite a few guys obviously talking about Salah. Everything that I saw from what he spoke, and I think his biggest frustration and what I've seen this season is that our team doesn't revolve around Mohamed Salah anymore on the attacking side of things. And this is what I mean. Last season, and honestly during the Klopp years too, Sadio Mane said it himself, because Mohamed Salah is an unbelievable goal scorer and world class in the final third, our team revolved around him in terms of sacrificing, pressing, defending, playing through that right hand side in the key moments so that he could get those goals and assists, and he delivered on them. That's why he's one of our greatest ever players. But here's where I think things have changed, in my opinion, and this is why I think Salah is very frustrated in this moment. I think it's much bigger than just being benched 3 games in a row. I think he's seeing that this team is evolving in a different way, and that is really difficult for him to take. And what I mean by the team evolving in a different way is I see the 3 stars that we brought in this summer on the attacking side of things in Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, and Alexander Isak. They prefer to roam around that left-hand side. And if you have a look at their heat maps, you'll see that, especially Flo and Ekitike. They like to pick it up and be in around those areas. That leaves Mohamed Salah more isolated on that right-hand side, right? That's one thing. Another is obviously Trent is no longer behind him. And that means there isn't that creative world-class force that's feeding him balls, which means he's going to get less opportunities in games. And it means, again, like for me, it's especially the players that we've brought in, means that we evolve as a team. Our strikers are pure goal scorers. And I think what's so hard for Mohamed Salah to accept and see right now is that he can be one of the main men, but he's not the main guy anymore. He just isn't, with the business we've done this summer. And for me, his reaction after the game is how hurt he feels that even after the season he had last season, that he's no longer the main guy. And that's where I feel for him, but at the same time I don't, because at the same time, I also think in this moment where we're in the biggest crisis of our lives, we need leadership for the team. We need leadership for the team. And this is not, for me, that it will never change Mohamed Salah's legacy, which is at the very pinnacle of Liverpool Football Club and Premier League history. But what I'm just still disappointed with is this is a moment in time when we needed leadership for the team, the team that's struggling right now. And this made it all about Mohamed Salah. All of the media, everything has just been about Mohamed Salah for the last 28 to 48 hours. You know, and when he said, for example, when people say also that he's been made into a scapegoat, I don't understand that either. I really don't. And the reason I don't understand it is I've never seen someone whose opinion I actually value say that the reason Liverpool have been losing games this year is because of Mohamed Salah. I haven't seen that anywhere. Maybe keyboard warriors or messages on social media. But that shouldn't matter. Every player is going to get hate on social media. You can't let that get to your head. I get hate messages. I got like 5 messages today saying that I'm racist for whatever comments I made in previous videos. Like that I'm racist. Am I going to lose my head over it? Absolutely not, because then I wouldn't be doing this. I know that I'm doing this in a public way. And obviously it's on a much smaller scale. But the thing is, he can't let that get to him. And then, like I said, for me, like people whose opinions he should actually value, nobody has said the reason Liverpool have had this drop off this season is because of him. And yet all of these people online are saying he's been made into some kind of scapegoat. No, bro, no. It's just the main thing that I've noticed is he's not the main guy anymore. That's the reality. And you're not going to be the main guy forever, you know? But for me, the only 2 solutions is either he accepts that he's not the main guy anymore and that there's going to be other players that you go through in your team. There's going to be other goal scorers in their team, other key star players in your team, and that things will get better because we will sign a center back in January and our right back situation has to sort itself. So it's going to be more stable, that right hand side, because Ibu Konate needs to be dropped right now. He absolutely needs to be dropped, but we don't have options for him. In January, we will have options. I'm sure we'll sign a center back. It'll become more stable and things will be better for him in that aspect. But still, this thing of the whole team, the whole system being built around him, I think that's no longer the case anymore. I don't think it is. You know what I mean? And that's, for me, he either has to accept that the system isn't built for him anymore, and that he's okay with how the new system looks, where also Isak is going to be a main man, or Ekitike is going to be a main man, and Isak is going to be crucial, and all these things. Or for me, he has to leave. Because if for him, he has to be the centerpiece of a team in the final third, then that's just not going to happen at Liverpool anymore because of our new reality. You know, and people, I can understand people having an argument. I don't support, of course I still support Salah. Of course I do. Of course I do. But I don't think a player is ever undroppable. My favorite player of all time, Stevie G, was undroppable at moments. You know what I mean? But Salah is the 5th player. I was looking at this stat earlier today, you guys. He's the 5th player that's the most used this season. 5th player, right? And he doesn't, this includes every position. 5th most used player. This is not like he's just being thrown under the bus and Slot doesn't back him anymore or anything like that. It's been a week where he hasn't played. A single week. You know what I mean? Yeah, Charlotte, I think he has spoken to him. Charlotte, I think in the press conference, they asked him, I think he has spoken to him, Charlotte, just not specifically about the thrown under the bus thing. You know what I mean? Exactly. I support Liverpool above everything else. And people thinking that I'm somehow turning against Mohamed Salah is absolutely wild when he's one of my favorite players ever. Look, Amaha is saying you don't support Salah, bro. It's just you're not listening. You're not listening and you're just throwing things like that. I absolutely support Salah. Absolutely. He just needs a reality check that the team isn't going to be built around him in the same way as it was before, where everybody would press for him. Sadio Mane said it in his interview. They knew they had to do way more running because in the final 30, it was about feeding Mohamed Salah in those dangerous areas. So Sadio had to do a lot more defensive work. Bobby Firmino had to do a lot more defensive work. That's just the reality. But our team isn't suited like that anymore. It's not. Do you get what I'm saying? No, yeah, Charlotte, I think he did speak to him, just not specifically about the thrown under the bus part in the press conference. Fravi says Salah is most likely calling out the new system at the club. But bro, then call that out. But don't say, bro, his literal quotes were, because of what I've done in the past, I shouldn't be fighting for a place in the team. He's not calling out the system. He's talking about his icon level, that because of what he's achieved, he should his place in the team should never be questioned. So he shouldn't be dropped if he's fully fit. That's literally what he said. That's not related to a system, bro. It's not. Do you get what I'm saying? If he called out the system, that's great. Or if he said, for example, I don't think I've played so well this season, but I know that if in the past week Slot had played me more, I would have delivered. That I'd be all for. But he never, I didn't hear one bit of accountability. I didn't for this season. I didn't. Yusuf says, yes, but no one in his position has played better. But that's why he's put Szoboszlai on the right wing, because he needs more defensive stability on that side. And the last 3 games we have conceded less goals. And I'm not saying that's because of just Salah being out of the team, because he's made several other changes, but he needed defensive stability on that right-hand side, because teams like Cucurella after the Chelsea game said they specifically targeted that side because we're weaker defensively on the right-hand side. That's why he brought in Dominik Szoboszlai. He knows Dominik Szoboszlai isn't a right winger. You know what I mean? Yeah, Charlotte. Slot said he spoke many times to Mohamed Salah before the Leeds game. He did. I rewatched it DBR. What did he say then? What did he say? We conceded 3 goals. Beasts. I understand we conceded 3 goals, but do you think we would have conceded 3 goals if Ibou Konate didn't concede that penalty? Answer that honestly, bro. Do you think we would have conceded 3 goals if Ibou Konate didn't make that mistake, which he's making time and time again this season? Honestly, answer that for me. Honestly. Tell me. I know, but Slot can only change what he has control over. And what you guys are saying about Ibou Konate, trust me, he definitely wants to drop Ibou Konate in this moment, but he can't. He can't. Joe Gomez wasn't fit enough to start, he said. And he has no other center back options. You know what I mean? So it goes back to what I was even saying with the Slot out stuff. It's like so many people criticize and they don't actually look at the reality of the situation. You know what I mean? Him calling Chiesa, 100%. I could understand being completely pissed off. 100%. 100%. That's a different situation. For me, that's a different situation. Why? Because every time he plays, he's been he's had real impact this season, and Slot never trusts him. That's another conversation. But this whole conversation was only around Mohamed Salah. That's it. It could be Virgil too, Twitty. But what I'm saying is the initial goal. The initial goal is so... When you concede that first goal away from home, especially a ground where the fans are unbelievable, it's really, really... It gets the ground going again. And the whole dynamic of the game changes. So conceding that first is what you can't do, and we gifted them that goal. Yeah, Alinos, it just hurts me. I get what you're saying. And trust me, there's so many hate messages per day that I don't pay attention to. But when people tell me I don't care about this football club or I have an agenda against Salah or whatever it may be, it's just unbelievable to me. When all I want is what's best for this football club. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But, when times are negative, people are going to be extra negative. But that's where, for me, trust me, you don't understand how easy it could be for me to just slate everybody. But I think it's more important than ever to try to have some reason, because I don't see much reason out there. Yes, Slot explained that he's ill. Chiesa's ill, and that's why he couldn't travel. That's why he couldn't travel. Beast says the system isn't good, Leo. That's my major concern. But did we say the system wasn't good last season? Towards the end of the season, sure, but we had already... I did see Jonathan Morley, but bro, he wanted Areola to take over. Jonathan Morley, who look at where Bournemouth are in the league. Jonathan Morley wanted Areola, the Bournemouth manager. So I'm not so sure I understand that mindset. Victor, thank you very much for the super chat, who says crazy mental gymnastics to defend Mo. If it was Jurgen, who we love instead of Slot, who's under pressure, people want out, fan response is different. I mean, I think this is on Slot too, Victor. Like, Slot, it should have never gone to this situation with Salah where he speaks to the media like this. Don't forget, in 2024, after he was benched by Jurgen Klopp, by the way, Jurgen Klopp, after everything he's done, he had that falling out on the pitch. We saw how unhappy Mohamed Salah was, right? After he passed through the media and he said, if I speak, there will be fire. He said that. And he didn't end up speaking to the media. You know what I mean? He didn't end up speaking to the media. But had he spoken to the media, it could have gotten ugly, like it got ugly this weekend. So it's not the first time. And Jurgen is a much better man manager than Slot is. You know what I mean? And that's something where I put responsibility on Slot. He should have never... He should have known how dangerous it is mentally for Mo to bench him 3 times in a row, and therefore been really careful with him leading up to the game, after the game, to make sure that he doesn't speak to the media because of how big of a thing it would become, which is, look what it's become, an absolute huge thing it's become. You know what I mean? And for me, that is huge. Who cares if he speaks to the media? It's really important, Ama, if you speak to the media. Why? Because there's so much more attention on you when you speak to the media. So much more. In a moment in time when we need to dimmer down the fire. We need to dim it down and just focus on the football. And when you speak to the media around with controversial things, it makes all the headlines around everything but the football, when the only thing we need to focus on is Inter Milan. That's it. But then none of the focus becomes on Inter Milan, because look at the press conference. Everybody only wanted to talk about Mohamed Salah. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. I'm not disrespecting Salah, bro. My man, tell me how I'm disrespecting Salah. Tell me, honestly. Big up Victor, thank you again, who says, I am Slot out, but Mo attacked the position of Liverpool manager. Any new manager who has to manage now walks on these eggshells. That isn't fair. I mean, if Salah is to stay, let's say if Salah is to stay, and Arne Slot goes, which is a possible reality too, the new manager goes into an environment where you can't drop Mohamed Salah. That's what he said, that you can't drop him. You know what I mean? That's what he said. Do I think Salah will leave? I don't know yet. I definitely think it's more likely Salah leaves than Slot does. That's for sure. Alyssa, trust me, never let rage bait. But you don't understand. Like I got so many messages in the last 24 hours. Imagine people saying you're a racist, or because I'm fine with hate, with people saying like you have no ball, you have no knowledge, you don't care about the club, all these things. I'm okay. But to say that I'm racist is like that hurts. You know what I mean? And I don't care if it's a keyboard warrior, but for me that's out of line. It's really out of line. See, like I don't, Farhan, I never said I wanted Salah to leave. Like, where did you hear that? Where did you hear that? I literally said in my reaction right after that my dream is for Salah and Slot to make up, and that they both, and that Salah stays because I love him so much. That's my dream. But it's complicated from here, is what it is. You know what I mean? It's really complicated from here. You know, and for those of you that don't know why it's complicated, I can reread the quotes to you. I can reread the quotes. But Salah has made it complicated. Felix says, love your content, but Slot has been so poor this season. Also, what makes you side with Slot? It's not about sides. Felix, can you please watch my video yesterday? Can you please watch my video yesterday? Because the amount of people online where it's like there's sides to everything. Well, Felix, I can answer why I'm not Slot out. The reason I'm not Slot out is because I haven't seen a better solution that's available out there. That's why. Because I'm a realist. I actually look at what's out there. I don't just go like this and just say something without actually having a solution. Meli says, can you tell me why Gakpo is playing? No, that's... See, I can have this conversation. I can have that conversation. I don't think Gakpo should be starting with the way he's playing, and I think Chiesa should be starting. That's fair. Absolutely, it's fair. But to say that a player is undroppable, that's... I've never seen that before. Never. It's very hard to be real nowadays. Watch what you're saying, because you really... What side then, Adama? You're saying... it sounds like I'm taking sides. Slot is definitely stubborn. There's no doubt about it. Baby Moses, Salah should have every right to be able to express how he feels. As Slot said, he should have every right. You know what I mean? Oh, do you want me to reread? I'll reread the quotes, Salah's quotes. Because you're saying I'm misquoting. So I can reread. Hold on. Wait, guys, can we actually go through some of the Jamie Carragher quotes? Because I'm curious. Let's just go through some of them. I'm going to have to go soon. He said, I think it was a disgrace what he did. I think when he stops in the mix zone, it's choreographed with him and his agent to cause maximum damage and strength on his position. Jeez. Jamie Carragher with strong words. He chose this weekend to do this, and he's waited and chose this time to go for the manager and get him sacked. That's how I felt about it, is what Jamie Carragher said. Then he says, when we were talking about throwing people under the bus, he's thrown Liverpool right back under the bus for 8 years. Can you imagine playing behind him for 8 years? But we accept it because he's a superstar and he scored 250 goals and he's given me as a Liverpool supporter one of the greatest nights of my life. Then he says, one thing I want to remind Salah and maybe his agent before he came to Liverpool, Mo Salah was known as the guy who failed at Chelsea. That's just a fact. He's also the greatest player the country's ever had. When he's talking there, it's all about me, me, me. Okay, but let me let me let me read the Salah quotes again because you guys are saying I'm misquoting. So hold on. Let me bring it. The part that I was talking about. Hold on. Here we go. I got it on the BBC. So okay, this is the quote. So they asked him, what couldn't you believe? And he says, quote, that I'm sitting on the bench for 90 minutes, the third time on the bench, I think for the first time in my career. I'm very, very disappointed, to be fair. I've done so much for this club down the years, and especially last season. Now I'm sitting on the bench and I don't know why. It seems like the club has thrown me under the bus. That's how I'm feeling. I think it's very clear that someone wanted me to get all of the blame. I got a lot of promises in the summer, and so far I'm on the bench for 3 games, so I can't say they kept the promise. I said many times before that I had a good relationship, and now all of a sudden I don't. Um, yeah, so what do you do with the situation now is what the interviewer said. And he says, it's not acceptable for me. I don't know why this is happening to me. I don't get it. I think if it was somewhere else, every club would protect its player. How I see it now, like you throw Mo under the bus because he's the problem in the team now. But I don't think I am the problem. I've done so much for this club. The respect I want to get. I don't have to go every day fighting for my position because I earned it. I'm not bigger than anyone, but I earned my position. That's the part I don't get. Mike says, thank you for the support. Mike, who says Salah was way out of line. He has been poor this season and nobody's position is guaranteed in the team. That's what I mean when he says I've earned my position, like he has to be in the team. Love Salah, but nobody is bigger than the club. Yo-Yo says, I think he had that promise of actually being undroppable, and that's why he's saying, bro, there's no way the club would have said undroppable. Can you actually sign a contract where no matter how well you play, can you sign a contract where no matter how you play, you have to start in the team? No, to be fair, I feel like Cristiano Ronaldo would be the type where maybe he would sign something like that. Of like being straight undroppable. Maybe Ronaldo, maybe. But I've never heard that in football before. I've never heard that where like your position in the team is a guarantee. I've never seen that. Wait, Amma, you're saying he's earned to not be droppable? There are contracts when you sign for a starter. But this is what I mean also when he said so Cristiano Ronaldo definitely had that clause. Yeah, yeah, maybe. But the part where he says, how I see it is you throw Mo under the bus because he's the problem in the team now. This is what I haven't heard anybody say that he is the problem. I haven't seen that anywhere. Did you get what I'm saying? I haven't. That's what I'm confused by. Reed, he's the second highest GA this season. Highest chances. He's created the highest chances. I understand that, bro. I understand that, bro. But Amma, you can't say that Salah hasn't been trusted this season when he's the fifth most used player in the Liverpool squad. I can read you the minutes played this season. He's the fifth most used Liverpool player. Genuinely. You know? So I don't get this thing of like Slot never trusted Salah. You know? I don't get it. Who's the first most used Liverpool player? Virgil van Dijk. Virgil. Then what is the mark? DBR. What is the mark? Tell me. Tell me. It's not it's not about not trusting him. Kusk says, "Yo, bro, I 100% agree with everything you said, but the treatment of Chiesa can't. Let's have that conversation. Let's have that conversation. I agree. Chiesa needed to have started over Cody Gakpo a number of times. Trust me. Let's have that convo. And Endo, think about the amount of minutes he's had. Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? But anyways, guys, this is gonna be the end of this live stream because I have a meeting pretty soon. Um, and also I want to catch up on what Kara said, and I'm gonna have dinner. So we will discuss all these things in due time because tomorrow night we're going to do a the next 2 nights actually I'll be live, you guys, for those of you that can join. So tomorrow night we obviously have a live stream for the Inter game, and then on Wednesday night we're going to do a watch along for the City Real Madrid game. So the next 2 nights I'll be live and we could talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. No, I'm not going to watch the United game. Good luck. Thank you and all the best, everybody. I appreciate those of you that are positive in the building because genuinely in this moment, I do need it. I need it because I've been getting a lot of hate messages the last 24 hours, and I can't lie that it's been difficult. I never let it get to my head. But like I told you, when people treat you of being a racist or whatever, for me, it's just so out of line. And all I've ever said was that I want what's best for this football club. And it's obviously an incredibly tense situation, you know, but these are the down moments we're going to go through, you know, and I have no doubt when you look at that squad over there and all the young players we have for the future, I have no doubt that our future is bright. You know what I mean? I have absolutely no doubt that our future is bright. So guys, I thank you very, very much. You guys have given me that lift I needed. Those of you that are positive in the building, I appreciate you guys. And like I said, I will see you tomorrow night. I will see you tomorrow night for the Liverpool Inter game. And then I will see you for, like I said, the City Real Madrid game is going to be a great watch. That's on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. So ciao, guys.